right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of Binance P2P.
Sounds good.
I think a lot of our listeners are probably pretty familiar with Binance already as just one of the huge crypto exchanges out there globally. But their peer-to-peer platform is really where I think things get really interesting.
Yeah.
It's all about, cutting out the middleman and trading directly with other users, with Binance acting as kind of a watchful guardian to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Right. And what I think is so compelling about P2P is the amount of control that it gives you. You set your own terms, you decide how you want to pay, and the sheer variety of payment methods just makes it incredibly accessible.
It's true. I mean, I was looking at it the other day, and there's, bank transfers, mobile payment apps, you name it. It seems like everything's on the table.
It's true. It's true. But, and I think this is a huge but, any platform, especially when we're talking about money, it's going to attract a certain element, right?
And our sources indicate that, in 2025 this year, Binance P2P has become a bit of a hotbed for these increasingly sophisticated scams. So what we want to do today is really break down the most common tactics and make sure you all have the knowledge to, spot these scams from a mile away and avoid falling victim to them.
Excellent goal.
And to help us navigate this kind of tricky terrain, we have an absolute expert joining us today. So we have a Swiss economist whose insights into the world of digital finance are really, really incredible. And what I think is so fascinating about his work is it's not just about the nuts and bolts of finance, right? It's about understanding the human behavior, the psychology that drives these trends.
Yeah, it's about that big picture thinking that can really help us connect the dots between these specific scam tactics and the larger financial landscape.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first scam tactic our expert highlights is something called fake payment proofs, which often leads to what are known as chargeback scams. So could you walk us through exactly how this unfolds?
Sure. So what makes this tactic so insidious is it really plays on this inherent trust that we have in a seemingly simple transaction.
Right.
Right. So you, the seller, think you've received payment. So you release the cryptocurrency. But then the buyer sends you what looks like, proof of payment, a screenshot from their banking app, maybe a confirmation email. The catch is this proof is totally fake. It's been doctored. It's completely fabricated. And then they might claim, oh, the payment didn't go through or it was reversed by my bank.
So wait, let me get this straight. The seller, thinking, okay, payment received, releases the crypto, and then the scammer turns around and says, no, I never paid you. Give me my money back.
Precisely. And here's the thing. Binance's system, it automatically releases the crypto once the seller confirms that they've been paid. That's the point of vulnerability the scammers are targeting.
Oh, I see.
Right? They manipulate the seller into giving that confirmation, and then they can even file a dispute with Binance using their fake evidence saying, hey, I never got the crypto I paid for.
That sounds like, a total nightmare.
Yeah.
And also like a serious blow if you fall for it.
It is. It is.
So what can people actually do to protect themselves from this? It seems like a pretty convincing scam.
I know. It is. And that's why our expert is so adamant about this. Never release your crypto until you've personally confirmed that the money is in your account.
Okay.
Don't just glance at a screenshot. Don't just rely on a notification. Log into your bank, log into your payment app, and look at your balance with your own eyes.
So no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. What you see is what you get.
Okay, that's good advice. What else?
All right. Secondly, scrutinize every single detail of the payment information the buyer provides.
Okay.
Double check the name on the account. Make sure the account number matches up. Look for any transaction reference numbers. And if anything seems even slightly off, if there's a typo, a wrong digit, anything that doesn't add up, it's a huge red flag.
Got it. So be meticulous.
Be meticulous. Absolutely. And as I said before, wait for the payment to actually appear in your account balance. Don't release your crypto based on a screenshot or a notification.
So patience is key here.
Patience is key. And finally, Binance actually has some really good in-app features for payment verification. I really encourage everyone to use them. These systems are designed to automatically verify transactions once they've gone through, which can give you that extra peace of mind.
I didn't realize Binance had those features. That's good to know.
Yeah, they're definitely worth checking out.
Okay, so we've talked about fake payment proofs. What's the next scam tactic our expert warns us about?
Okay, so this one's called account takeover, and it's often tied to something called phishing, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of.
Yeah, phishing. It's been around forever, right?
It has, but it's still incredibly effective, unfortunately, and in the crypto world, it's become even more sophisticated. Basically, the whole game is impersonation. Scammers will pretend to be someone you trust, like Binance support staff or even, a well-known figure in the crypto community.
Oh, wow.
And their goal is to trick you into giving them your login information or even, sending them money directly.
So it's like those fake emails we get from banks
It's exactly like that.
saying like, oh, there's a problem with your account.
Right, exactly. Only now it's happening on all kinds of platforms. Fake Binance emails, messages on social media, even text messages.
Wow.
And they can look really convincing too. They'll use the official Binance logos. They'll copy the language from real Binance communications.
So how are you supposed to tell the difference?
Well, that's the challenge, but one of the most important things is to look very closely at the website URL, at the top of your browser window.
Right. Okay.
Make absolutely sure it's the real Binance domain name. Look for the little padlock icon, which tells you the connection is secure.
Padlock, yeah.
And enable two-factor authentication on your Binance account. It's an absolute must-have. It adds that extra layer of security.
So even if they get your password, they can't get in without that second code.
Exactly. Two-factor authentication is like having a double lock on your door.
Okay, good analogy.
Mm.
What else should we watch out for with these phishing scams?
All right, so be super careful about clicking links in emails or messages, especially if they're unexpected, even if they look official. And don't download any attachments unless you're absolutely sure who they're from.
So even if it looks like it's from Binance.
Even then, if you're unsure, it's always better to go directly to the Binance website or app by typing the address in yourself. Don't click on any links. And finally, watch out for any messages that try to create a sense of urgency or panic. You need to act now or your account's in danger. Legitimate organizations like Binance rarely, if ever, use those kinds of scare tactics.
Good point. It's like those scam calls where they say, you're going to jail if you don't pay this fine right now.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about preying on your emotions.
Okay, so we've covered fake payment proofs and phishing scams. What's next on the list?
All right, so the next one is escrow manipulation. And this is where things get a little more technical.
Okay, lay it on me.
So, as you know, Binance has this escrow system in place.
Right. It's supposed to be a safeguard, right?
Exactly. It's meant to protect both the buyer and seller by holding the crypto hostage until both sides confirm that the transaction's complete. But scammers are finding ways to game this system.
How do they do that?
Well, they'll create a bunch of fake Binance accounts, right?
Right.
And they'll use these accounts to falsely confirm that a transaction went through.
Oh, wow.
So the system thinks everything's okay. And then, bam, the crypto is released to the scammer, even though the seller never actually received payment.
So they're creating these false confirmations to trick the system.
Precisely. And sometimes they'll even go a step further. They might provide fake payment confirmation outside of the Binance platform.
Like in a private message or something.
Exactly, a doctored screenshot, a fake email. They'll do whatever it takes to convince the seller to release the crypto, and then poof, they vanish.
It's almost like they're turning the system's security against the users.
Yeah, it's a very clever, albeit unethical, exploitation of a system designed to build trust.
So how do we protect ourselves from this?
All right, this is where doing your due diligence is really, really important. Our expert stresses the importance of only trading with users who have a good, solid reputation on Binance.
Okay.
Take a look at their profile, see how many trades they've completed, read the feedback from other users. Don't rush into anything. Take your time, verify everything. And if someone's new to the platform, if they don't have much history, proceed with extra caution.
That makes sense. It's like, checking reviews before you book a hotel or hire a contractor.
Exactly. Reputation matters.
Okay, so escrow manipulation, checked.
Yeah.
What's the next tactic on our list?
Okay, so this one's a bit more straightforward. It's called bait and switch.
I feel like I've heard that term before.
Yeah, it's a classic scam tactic.
Yeah.
You see it in all sorts of online marketplaces.
Right.
And now it's made its way into the crypto world. So basically, the scammer advertises a deal that seems way too good to be true, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, at a price that's significantly lower than the market rate.
Oh, so they're luring people in with a really tempting offer.
Exactly, the bait. And then, once you're hooked, they switch it up.
Ah, I see where this is going.
Yeah, they might cancel the trade at the last minute, or they might suddenly change the terms, demanding a higher price.
So it's all about getting you invested and then pulling the rug out from under you.
That's it. That's the switch.
Sneaky. So how do we avoid getting caught in this bait and switch trap?
All right, first and foremost, do your research. Know the market prices for the crypto you're interested in. If a deal seems unbelievably good, it probably is.
Yeah, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is. And be extra wary of offers from brand new or unverified accounts.
Right.
They're more likely to be scammers. And this one's super important. Read the terms and conditions of the trade very carefully. Look for any hidden fees or clauses that might let the seller change the deal later on.
So be thorough.
Be thorough. Don't let them pull a fast one on you.
Good advice.
Meh.
Okay, what else do we need to watch out for?
All right, so the next one is fake listings and listings with altered terms. And this one can be a bit tricky to spot
Okay.
because it relies on deception, but it's a very subtle kind of deception.
Oh, okay.
So scammers create these fake listings, or they'll take a legitimate listing and just tweak a few small details. Like maybe they'll slightly change the price or the payment method or the transaction limits.
So you're saying they're hoping people will miss these small changes?
Exactly, especially if they're in a hurry or really excited about the deal.
Right. And by the time they realize something's wrong.
It's too late. The scammer's gone with the money.
Okay, so how do we protect ourselves from these fake or altered listings?
Again, it comes down to vigilance and attention to detail. Our expert really hammers this point home. Verify every single listing. Check the details, look at the seller's profile, see what their reputation is like, and if anything seems off, even a little bit, if the listing looks different from the usual format, if there's missing information, don't hesitate to report it to Binance support.
Got it. Report anything suspicious. Okay, so we're down to our last scam tactic. What is it?
All right, this one might be the most concerning of all. It's called impersonation of Binance support.
Oh, that does sound scary.
It really is, because it plays on the trust that users have in, the official support channels.
Right.
So imagine this. You're having a problem on Binance. You've opened a support ticket. You're trying to get something resolved. And then you get a message from someone claiming to be from Binance support.
Okay.
And they'll tell you, oh, we need to verify your account, or we need to fix a technical issue. But it's all a lie. Their real goal is to steal your information or get you to send them money.
That's so messed up.
It is. They're taking advantage of people when they're already stressed and vulnerable.
So how do we know if we're actually talking to real Binance support or if it's a scammer?
All right, this is crucial. Legitimate Binance support will never, ever ask you for your password or your 2FA codes. If anyone claiming to be from Binance support asks for that information, it's a scam, period.
Okay, good to know.
Always initiate contact with Binance support yourself. Through the official website, through the app. Don't respond to random messages or emails. And if a message feels weird, if it's pushy, if it creates that sense of urgency, be very, very suspicious.
So basically, if it feels off, it probably is.
Exactly. Trust your gut.
All right, so those are the 6 most common Binance P2P scams we need to be aware of in 2025.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But it seems like the key takeaway here is vigilance, right? Being cautious, verifying everything.
Absolutely. Our expert couldn't agree more. He says verification and a healthy dose of skepticism are absolutely essential in today's crypto landscape.
And I think what's so interesting is this isn't just about Binance P2P. Right.
These scams, they're a reflection of a much bigger trend, Cybercrime is getting more sophisticated every day, and it's happening everywhere online.
It's true.
So we really need to take these lessons to heart, not just on Binance, but on any platform where we're sharing personal information or dealing with money.
It's about being proactive and protecting ourselves.
Exactly. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening, and stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me.
It was great having you.
Anytime.
Okay, well, we'll be back next week with another deep dive. Until then, remember, verify everything, trust your instincts, and don't let the scammers win.
See you next week.
See you then.